Good morning, everyone. Well, I am outside my son's donation place. He's completing his second plasma donation for the week. You got to do 2 a week to get the full benefit. They only pay you like less than half on the first day, and if you go to the second day, you get paid the amount of half plus what you didn't get the first day. The incentive to make you go in for 2 days. So if you ever go to do this, that's the way they work it. I am getting frustrated with businesses. They're just not out to help people anymore. I'm trying to reduce my insurance cost on my car. Before the current administration took over, I paid about $50 a month for my insurance. Under this current administration, I'm paying $100. What's changed? The bill. That's all that's changed. I have no tickets, no wrecks, clean driving record. My car is paid for. I want PL&PD, the minimum required insurance, and I can't find it for anything less. And there's scam sites all over. They say you should be paying $20 to $30 or $40 or $50, and you go to those sites, and then they take you to multiple sites until you end up with an agent. At which point they go, well, we need all this information. You give them all the information, and what do you get? Maybe $10 less. Of course, they want to know what you're paying now. It's a scam. They want to know what you're paying now so they can undercut it, but they're not going to undercut it by half. They're just going to undercut it. They also try to talk in how much you're going to pay. Are you paying $500 for 6 months, or are you paying $500 for a year? They do this bait and switch, and they all do the same thing. They've all studied under Satan's how to steal money from individuals. It's always been to a degree that way, but there'd be someone out there who would be honest and you get a good rate. But now, because the government's involved, you can't. Don't recommend any place. I'm tired of talking to these people. I don't like getting into conversations when I'm already heated under the collar, because then I'm not rational. I have to go pray every time I talk to an agent so I can talk to the next one civilly. Okay. The price of gas has come down a little bit. We're getting closer to the election. Not a lot, but a little bit. Here in Georgia, we were paying $3.50. We're down to, I can find gas if I want to stop and pay cash for $2.99. Credits, which most everybody uses, is around $2.10 to $2.20. So we're better, but we're not back to where we were before this administration took over. You've got to think about that for this next election. I'm not telling you how to vote. Think about how we were before the last election and how we are now. Do you want more of what you're getting? Because that's the way it's going to be. If you don't vote right, you're going to get more of what you got. Okay, into my political statement. This is Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend is a federal holiday put in place to celebrate, another propaganda day, celebrate giving the worker what they're due. Out of this, we've got the 40-hour work week, things like that. It was also the birth of unions, which I think in the beginning were absolutely needed, because these businesses were just gouging everything and harming people, putting people in harm's way. So the unions helped. But we have laws in place to cover everything that the unions fought for. So the only thing the union is good for now is forcing the union members to pay their dues, which go and line the pockets for the bosses, and what's left over goes to political campaigns to support whichever party is pro-union. That's all they're good for. So I am completely anti-union. It's another reason why I never joined the actors union, because I think unions are the work of the devil now. It started off good, but they're useless, and you can't get them to go away. They're the ultimate pyramid scheme. They have to get new people in to pay for the people that are retiring and taking all the benefits. And at every so often they run out of money. So you get a president like we've had recently, and they come up with all this money. We need to have shovel-ready jobs. Heard that in the past. What shovel-ready jobs do you remember them doing? None. All that money came into the coffers and went out to pay the unions off so that they could keep their pyramid scheme going. Crooked, crooked, crooked government. I don't like politicians in general. You know my definition. It hasn't changed. And at this point in time, because the Bible predicted it, our government's swirling down as the waters are getting lower and lower in that porcelain bowl. Sorry for the graphic, but that's as clean as I can make it. That's where we're going. So, you need to be doing what people are doing this weekend, you need to be doing all the time. But you got to find the time for it. How can you when you're working 2 jobs to pay for all the things you're buying? Stop buying. Cut up the little plastic things. You're going to need to have 1 or 2 because you can't. We're almost out of availability of cash. But if you got 4 or 5, you got too many. Some people can have a big one. I've had American Express. That's the big one. If I needed to charge $20,000 or $50,000, I could do that at one time when I was working. But I didn't use it. I used the smaller ones because I could pay them off quicker. I might use the big ones just enough to have something on the books. If you don't use a card and they're not making money, they might cancel your card. See, it's a rigged system. And the rich people don't do what we do normally. I was just watching an interview and the guy says to this billionaire, "You don't own your home?" He goes, "No, mortgages are a trap. They make you a slave to the mortgage and you get nothing out of it. Your house doesn't pay you, you pay your house. You'd be better off renting from one of your subsidiary companies. Then you can deduct. Leasing would be better. Leasing, I used to lease my cars." And you go, "But that's like throwing money away." Well, I'm going to throw it away on me or I'm going to throw it away on the government. I'd rather throw it away on me. So there's what the rich people do to stay rich and keep doing what they're doing is they don't do what they tell us to do. The rich people are taking their money out of stocks right now. They're trying to be liquid for 2 reasons. One, if there's a complete collapse, they're safe because they've got their money tangibly in cash. If there's a big downturn and it's going to start coming back up, you buy just as it starts to come up. That's your best place, safest place to buy. If you buy while it's going down, you don't know how much further it's going down. But as soon as it levels out and starts to come up, one day starts to come up, that's when you buy. The old joke, you buy high and sell low. Well, that's how you stay poor. You buy low and sell high. Anyhow, we have to disconnect from the world. The world will lead you down the wrong path, whether it's the wrong financial path, the wrong spiritual path. The world will lead you down the wrong way. Because who's the ruler of the world down here? Satan is. God is more powerful than Satan. So what Satan's doing, he's doing under the observation and permission by God. But God lets him do this. And you go, well, how could God be all good and powerful, and yet allow Satan to be evil. So that we have a choice. That's why. You get to choose. Do you want to go to heaven or do you want to go to hell? If you want to go to hell, God's not going to stop you. He'll try to warn you off of it. He'll have people talk to you, tell you about how great heaven is, tell you what you can do, tell you how you can accept the free gift to go to heaven. He'll tell you all about that. But if you'd rather go to hell, people will say, I don't want to go to heaven. All my friends are going to hell. I'm going to be with them. Think it through, people. Don't be part of the world. Don't be conformed to the world, the Bible says. You have got to stop and focus. Put your blinders up so you don't see the world. Focus on the Bible and God. Learn more about Him. That's really our whole purpose of being here on earth. We're not here to make money, to buy a big house, to drive 2 or 3 cars. We're not here to compete in a race, whether it's on foot or in a car. We're not here to be pilots or astronauts. We're here to learn about God and how to have a relationship with God. That's why we're here. And He gives us both worlds. You choose which one you want to be a part of. Of course, He wants you to be a part of His world. And He's got plenty of incentive for doing that. The devil offers you 1,000,000 times what God does. Let me finish. But it's all lies. God only gives you $2,000 a month to live on. The devil will give you $10,000 a month to live on. But he'll tie you to that job so much that you can't have a family life. You can't do anything else. He'll enslave you. We've dealt with slavery in our country, and I've talked about this before. I don't care if your grandparents were slaves or great-great-grandparents. You're not. You have the opportunity, just as every human being does, to elevate yourself above your current standing. That's our goal, is to get closer to heaven in doing so. Not to necessarily elevate yourself monetarily, but you can improve your situation. There are plenty of this race, I'm not going to get into this, that have made it for themselves because they didn't believe the government lies, which are keeping you enslaved. The government lies. Every race in the world at some point in time was a slave. The Irish have been slaves. The Jews were slaves. They've made slaves out of the Indians. In fact, they've convinced them that you don't have a choice. You're going to go live where we tell you on these reservations because we don't want you to have the good land. Yeah, some of our founding fathers, not the original founding fathers that created the country, but some of the other leaders were not good people. They were politicians. They found gold in Georgia a number of years ago. The Indians said, we don't want that yellow rock. You can have it. All you want. We don't care. We'll even tell you where it's at. No. The devil got in there and said, well, these red devils are going to come back and want their land and their money. They didn't care. They were living a very simple life. But no, we picked them up and we moved them. The Trail of Tears leads from Georgia. I got a big truck pulling in here. What's he doing? It's going to get noisy here in a second. It's a big FedEx truck. I don't know if he's coming in to drop something off, but he's too big. The devil's really good about lying about your future. Stop and think about it. What happens if I'm wrong? I've led a good life for no gain. What if you're wrong? You're going to spend eternity in hell. I've got nothing to lose about being right and being right with God. I've got plenty to gain, but if I'm wrong, I'm still happy every day of my life in what I'm doing. I've played the rat hole stuff. I've had the big house and the multiple cars. I am more comfortable now, more happier now than I ever have been in my life, and I live in a tent. For all practical purposes, I'm homeless, but I'm out in nature. I'm not in nature right now. I've got planes going over, big trucks going by, but normally I live in nature with a beautiful, soon to be dried up lake until they fix the dam. But I'm happy. And I've got all the comforts of home. I'm not destitute. It's hot here. I have air conditioning. This is Labor Day weekend. This is the traditional end of summer. I have heaters. I can use the normal stuff. I mean, I've got a picnic table. I've got a couple of barbecue options. I barbecued steaks yesterday. I do that occasionally. I'm not a big meat eater, although I'd love, a good steak. Or I primarily eat seafood and vegetables, but I'm not a vegan. It's just that my gut doesn't like it. But I have to get very lean meat, and if there's any fat on it, I cut it off. But you can leave it on if you're going to barbecue. All of it falls down below, so that's okay. You let it sit there. I cook them a little bit more lean than more well done than I used to, just to make sure that I'm not getting any of the grease, but they're still good. So I had dinner last night, one of the steaks. It was in New York. Mashed potatoes. I took some, I get one of those veggie trays where it's got onions and bell peppers and a bunch of stuff in there, and I cooked them up ahead of time in some butter. I use butter versus the other oils, because even the oils sometimes are worse than just butter. So I cook them up in that. I throw in some nice mashed potatoes that I've got, because I buy those in the tub. That and my steak, and I had a delicious meal. I'm going to have round 2 tonight. And then I'm going to kind of gear up. This video is the Sunday video. So I'm making my videos for the weekend, because there's going to be a bunch of people here for the weekend. And this is kind of what I want you to do, the theme of this. Spend time with your family. Take some time off from work. Psalm 23 says that God will make us lie down in green pastures. He doesn't say allow us, He'll make us. So take the time off. Don't be workaholics. You're just working for material things here. Now, if you're working in the ministry, that's fine, but you still have to take time off, because you need to charge up. We don't want to hear you. You don't want to hear me talk. I've been going over this talk with God the last couple of days. And I said, okay, you need to lead this, because this is your talk. This isn't my stuff. I'm already happy. I don't need to do anything. The only thing I could possibly do to improve things a little bit, and I don't know how that would work out, would be to move into some form of a mobile home. But the cost goes up. So I would need more income than my retirement income. Right now, I can easily afford this. And your generous donations occasionally help out immensely getting things that I need, because things do wear out when you're living outside. But that's not what this is about. Make sure you spend time with your family. Do a barbecue. Have your neighbors over. Get to know them more if you haven't already. Make this a friendly, family, neighborly weekend. It's a longer weekend than normal. Downtown, they're doing Dragon Con. I did that for almost 20 years. I can make myself look like anybody. I can't act like anybody, but I can make myself look like anybody. And I would. And I've got a number of, I might put some pictures up just to let you see, but I'm living a fantasy when I'm doing that. But it's fun. A lot of them go down there to party. I don't do that, but I will have I used to have just a cordial drink with them. I don't drink anymore like that, so it's hard being the fifth wheel. But whatever you do, and I did this with friends, and that's what you want to do. Get together with your friends and do something you all enjoy doing. If you want to go to a park or to a campsite, if you want to go to a race, I guess there's football this weekend, you can go to that. But do it with your friends, remembering to take God with you every step of the way. We're supposed to be happy and enjoy our time down here because it's very short. And it's getting to be very, very, very short because we have an impending rapture. I can't tell you when, but I can tell you to look at all the things that are happening. Look at the one world government. The Bible predicts it. One world religion. The Bible's predicting it. Our Pope either wants to be the Antichrist or the false prophet. God's already got these people slated, so I don't know which one he's going to get, but he may get to be one of those. He will be Roman. We know the Antichrist will be Roman and the false prophet. Times are going to get tough. Tougher. They're already bad. If you'd have prepped when I first started talking on this channel, you'd have stores up so you wouldn't be paying the current prices. Even though the prices have gone up, be sure to continue to eat healthy. If you go up and down the aisles, you're buying processed food. Your most healthy foods are on the outside. Produce, meats, chicken, fish. Make sure you get the kind that are properly fed. Beef needs to be grass-fed, not hormone-fed. They want you to start eating bugs. No, that's only because they don't want to have to do anything. They want you to be surviving on the minimalist diet so they don't have to take care of you. Put your stores up in heaven. That's where you want to be investing your time and money. All right. I hope you're enjoying the weekend. Make sure you take God with you every time you go anywhere. He's, I'm assuming, with you when you're home. But don't go out without him. Till we meet in the clouds. God bless. It's a beautiful morning. The sun's not up yet. Nobody's here yet either, because this is the start of the long weekend. This is Friday as I'm recording this. More of the lake gone. Have a blessed day, everybody.